like talking about regular stuff. I don't want to talk about no people. I don't want to gossip. I don't want to waste my time. I don't like regular stuff no more.
The Empire Podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Empire. And yes, we have another great guest. If you didn't know, she is a motivational speaker, keynote speaker. She helps with brands, and we're going to know so much about her. And her name is Coach Amber Ablaza. Welcome to The Empire.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here on The Empire.
Yeah. There's a couple things she wasn't ready for, but we here. And how's your day been? Happy New Year? How's the New Year been so far?
Okay, so my New Year's going well because this is the first year that I realized I don't need a resolution. I need goals. And I'm going to make the goals happen for the year. So my New Year is great with that realization in mind.
Okay, so what's some of the goals you got so far?
Some of the goals I have so far, so I'm a branding specialist and I work with motivational speakers. I'm going to have a coaching program for 20 motivational speakers to build their brand for them and teach them about branding and teach them speaking if they need that as well.
Okay, so what type of hot iron do you use when you're branding people?
Hot iron, you're going to have to elaborate.
So when you have like a cow, you brand them with the branding iron, your
Yes.
symbol. So what type of hot iron do you use when you're branding
Okay, so
people?
I'm using Canva.
Okay.
Yes. I'm like, wait, is he talking about Canva?
So you mentioned, I always wanted to mention because is pink your favorite color? Because I see you rocking pink all the time. So is pink your favorite color?
Okay, so pink is my brand color.
Okay.
My first target audience, the people that I serve, were female entrepreneurs. I taught them branding, social media, Canva, etc. And you have to attract your audience with the color that they feel the most. So women love pink.
Okay.
It's femininity, love, inspiration, all in one.
I love it. Okay. Since we've been talking so much about your stuff, can you please elaborate on who you are, the things that you do for people who may not know who you are and the things that you do?
Okay, so what I do, I am a creative brand director. That means I do content for my clients. I do Canva designs, graphic designs for my client. I write out what they say in their content. I do websites. I do logos. The reason I do this is because in a business, you need a brand. You will not have a brand without a business. You will not have a business without a brand. So I help people build their brands so people can know, like, and trust them. They need to know you because if they don't know you, they're not going to work with you. If they don't like you, they're not going to work with you. And nobody works with people that they cannot trust. So you need to be able to get the know, like, trust factor of who you work with. And that's what I provide for my clients.
Awesome. So what's some of the tactics that you do besides wearing pink for people to know and like you and trust you?
What I do is post content. And I post motivational content, I post tips, but when I create my content, I post it with the person in mind. So I'm not just posting it because I like the way I look. I'm posting to help others.
This is coming to me right now. Do you seem to resonate more with Black American women than other women, or it seems to be kind of universal when you're speaking and connecting with? How does it feel for you?
So I've thought about this, and I first connected with African American women because that's what I look like. But I knew that I needed to, be universal. So now I see myself as working with everyone because it's not just Black women or African American women that need help, that need branding. It's everybody. And everybody has their own audience. And so my job is to help motivational speakers because they will help thousands, millions, billions of people. Because just by myself, I can't do billions. But if I help mobilize motivational speakers, we can help billions together. And so it's universal at this moment.
I like that.
Yes.
I think it's better to be cast your net broad, as they say. Have a broad net, catch as many fish as you can, right? Because I like to think that, and that's kind of how we work here too, folks. Like, we're all about whoever resonates with our message. It doesn't matter what you look like, but as long as we connect, then you're welcome, right?
Yes.
Because like minds connect, right?
Exactly.
There's a saying that they say in the community, which goes, not all skin folk is kinfolk.
I've heard that one.
Right? But I like to think that frequencies matter. So if we resonate on the same frequency, that's more important than anything.
Most definitely.
Right?
And there's no color involved in that.
That part. Maybe just green. You know what I mean? Them greenbacks.
I like green.
We like green.
The blue hundreds.
Hey,
I like blue.
You like blue? Okay, them blue chips.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it. I like it. Amber, can you give us all a brief origin story, I like to say, about how you grew up, where you grew up, all the way up to the lady you are today? And you can go as brief or as much as you want for us.
Yes, okay. I'll go into depth. Well, we're in San Bernardino, California, and just down the street is my high school, Arroyo Valley High School. And at that high school, this was my first time living in such an urban city. I hope that's the right terminology. But I was getting in fights. I just had a lot going on at this high school, and so that was tough for me. However, I had someone come from Wilberforce University, and they recruited us. They told us if we came in the summer, we would get free food, free room and board. And so I guess that was my way to escape, because I didn't even tell anybody I was leaving. I had a boyfriend, I had friends, and I told them the day before I left that I was going to Ohio for college, to Wilberforce University. So that's part of my origin story. Even in high school, I had a job. I was always a hard worker. And so when it comes to putting in the work, I'm ready to go. So I go to Wilberforce, and I'm going to fast forward kind of, but I became a Delta there. I did, community service. When I graduated, I got a job at Kroger. You ever heard of Kroger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very famous, supermarket, right, brand?
Yes.
Okay.
And so Ralph's is a part of that. And I think Food for Less is a part of their chain as well, just so my California people can resonate with me real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a job at Kroger, and I was making, I think, $40,000 a year. And I remember my first day. Something happened that irritated me.
What year is this?
I was just about to say, this is 2013.
Okay.
As soon as I graduated, I got this job. I had a degree in business management. So 2013, my first day at Kroger, I was irritated for some reason. And so I left the store to go get lunch. I'm like, okay, I'm taking my break. I got to go. And when I get back, they're telling me, they're like, we were calling you. We were paging you over the intercom. And I'm like, okay. We couldn't even leave the store to take a break. I was one of the managers. Let me be clear. I'm sorry,
Okay.
y'all.
Okay.
I was a manager. We could not even leave the store to take a break. And so that was the first thing that rubbed me the wrong way.
They say why you can't leave?
Because they want to work you like a slave.
Okay, gotcha. You're a prisoner.
A prisoner.
Okay.
Just in case they need you to end your break early, which you do deserve, then you got to be in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be at their beck and call.
Mm-hmm.
So that rubbed me the wrong way. Also, $40,000 is change. And even, 12 years ago, it was change. And you know what I like to call a job? The journey of the broke.
Let them know, Amber.
The journey of the broke, because a job that's where it's going to get you. And some people like to think that it's only going to be them that's going to be broke. But then the next generation will be broke as well. So if it's not the journey of the broke for you, because you think, oh, I'm making six figures, I'm good. Well, what are you leaving behind for the next generation, right? So I knew I couldn't leave anything behind making $40,000. And I knew I couldn't get no self-care for no break. Can't even leave the store, right? So I left that job, and I came back home to California, because I was in Ohio. Came back to California. And so at this moment in life, I'm still lost, because what do I want to do? I have a degree, but getting that job wasn't for me. So I got a cosmetology license next.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. My dad was a cosmetologist.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, him and his whole family, everybody, all the women, they're cosmetologists.
Okay.
Yes.
And Pops.
And Pops.
Okay, so he can do a mean lineup.
Pops can do it all. He
Okay.
can line you up. He can flatten and straighten it out, fried down, lay to the side. He can do it all.
Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to
He
Pops.
can get you right, yes. Shout out to Pops. So I got my license, and then I thought in my mind, am I going to get arthritis? Am I going to stand on my feet forever? And so even when I was in cosmetology school, people would say, why are you here? And I would say, I'm here because I want to open a beauty supply store. It was never that I wanted to work for somebody else again. So I got that license, and of course, I did work for someone else, because that's the easiest thing to do. The the job, easiest thing to do, but that's also what society tells us to do. If you don't have a job, you're a bum.
Yeah.
If you don't have a job and you're an entrepreneur, people don't see it as you had a job, that you have a job.
Yeah. Or respect it.
They don't respect it. So you have to make them respect it. Side notes. But
let them know. Don't whisper it. Let them know.
Side note. You got to make them respect you and your entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So I got that license. They asked me to be the manager at a salon. And I was like, okay, how much more do I get paid than the regular employees? $1. And I was like, no. So if I'm going to, like, I want to reach the highest level of whatever I'm doing. I'm a go-getter. So if that only looks like $1, what am I doing here? Right? So what did I do next, y'all? Look, this is the origin story. I never even told it like this.
Oh.
So next, I went to get more education because that's what people think we need to do.
Go to the school.
Get more education because society tells us, okay, you ain't like that money at that level with that bachelor's, get some more education. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to get a CTE. I'm going to be able to teach anything I want to teach. So what is CTE? It's career and technical education. So I can teach cosmetology. I can teach graphic design, Canva, whatever I specialize in.
Okay.
So I went out, got the CTE. I mean, it was blood, sweat, and tears.
Okay.
That curriculum was so hard to get that. So I got that.
What school?
Cal State University, San Bernardino.
Okay, shout out.
We back to the Dino.
Shout out Yotes.
I ain't a Dino, baby, but I'm here.
Okay.
So I got that certification, and I planned on using it at my alma mater, Royal Valley. So I interviewed, but I've never really been good at interviews. And I think it's because in the back of my mind, I know that I'm destined for greatness. When I answer their questions, it's not that I'm a yes man or a yes woman. I'm not going to do whatever you want me to do. I'm going to bring that fire. I'm going to bring realness. And so when I interview, that probably was coming out is what I'm assuming. So I didn't get the job. I didn't get the CTE job after putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to get it. When I didn't get the job, I went back to Ohio. And this is where you're going to meet Coach Ablaza. Okay, y'all? Stay tuned.
What year are we at? What year
okay,
we
what
at?
year we at?
Yeah,
Y'all,
let's hit timelines here.
Let me hit the timeline. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay.
Now we're in 2018.
Okay.
So this is 5 years later. So I just gave y'all 5 years and 5 minutes, maybe 10.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're in 2018. And so I have 2 kids now. And I'm still struggling.
You skipped a whole past the kid part.
I skipped the kid part. I'm sorry. Look, y'all. The first kid was born in 2010. The second was born in 2018.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. 8-year difference.
Look, I didn't want to do the life story, y'all.
Okay,
Just the origin story.
Okay, here we go. Keep going. We
okay.
Good.
So 2018, I go back to Ohio because in California, it's kind of like I didn't feel like I was making it. I didn't feel like I had enough money to survive here. It costs a lot to live here.
Expensive.
It's expensive. And I've survived. Let's not thrive, right? Thrive in 25. I've survived in Ohio before because the rent was cheap. So I knew that if I went back to Ohio, I could make it again.
Did you have like stomping grounds, people to connect with to go back? Or you just went back just like...
Well, so I graduated from there. So kind of, I had like prevalence with people there.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. So I go back to 2018 and I get another job. What did y'all think I was going to say? So I got another job and it was doing home health care. And so I figured you got 2 kids, you got to do what you got to do.
Responsibilities now.
Responsibilities. So get the home health care job. And I lied to get it. I'm going to be honest with y'all.
Okay, what'd you tell them?
I told them that I worked at a home health care facility in California.
Got you.
And I'm like, are they going to check?
Probably not.
They didn't.
Yeah.
It's California. It's far. So
like she said it. She probably right.
So because I lied, I'm like, I don't know what to do and what not to do. Right?
That's scary. Are you like administering medicine to patients too?
No, not medicine.
Okay. I was like, oh, damn. Like,
no.
What does 18 milligrams mean? I don't know.
Only nurses do medication.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I had no title behind my name for nursing or anything.
Okay.
So anyways, I didn't know what I was not supposed to do. So I'm giving a 400-pound man a bird bath every night.
Okay.
In a sofa chair.
Got you.
In a sofa chair, y'all.
So like CNA work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just thinking about it. But so I was doing that.
Flashbacks.
And it was just crazy. Like, I just remember the feeling. I'm like, I got to take these scrubs off. Maybe burn them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I need them the next day. So I was doing that, and somehow that was hard work, and I still didn't have no money. So mind you, I had 2 kids, 2 jobs, $0. And from there, I did the best thing that I thought I could do. I got another job. So now I had two jobs, home health care and DoorDash.
Okay.
And so I'm DoorDashing with my kids in the car. And so I'm going to the door and I'm looking back and I'm like, are my kids going to be okay? That's when I knew I couldn't do it anymore. I knew something had to change because I'm at an all-time low, right? I'm like, how do I have 2 kids, 2 jobs, no money? It doesn't make sense.
It's not adding up.
It's not adding up. The math is not mathing. That's why I always say that, y'all.
As they say, yep.
It's not adding up. So I did the next best thing that I thought I should do, and I got another job because it's called insanity. You do the same thing and you expect different results. So I go back to another job. Now, mind you, because we like years. Let's go back to the years. In 2013, I was making $40,000 with Kroger. 2018, I believe I was making probably 40 or 45,000 with this new company. It was a uniform company. And so I worked in the office. So at least I was sitting there. They still, they like to get the blood out of Penny, right? They still working me.
Okay.
But so I worked in the office, and this is when my mom introduced me to something called the Rule of 5. And so
I was going to ask about that.
Yes, you was. Okay. So the Rule of 5, number 1, pray and meditate. Number 2, read. Number 3, listen to audio teachings. Number 4, write and review your dreams and goals. And number 5, exercise. So in that moment, I was still in a poverty mindset. And so my mom was like, hey, you should do the Rule of 5. And I was like, what is that? Like, I'm over here struggling financially, mentally. I'm overweight. I'm underpaid. I'm like just in the struggle. And so it took me about 6 months to start doing that Rule of 5. Yeah.
So how do we become Coach Ablaza?
How do we become Coach Ablaza? You guys, we're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
6 months later, I started doing the Rule of 5 every day. I still had that job at that uniform company. I would drive there 45 minutes. I would listen to Eric Thomas. I would drive back 45 minutes. I would listen to Terry Savelle Foy. During my lunch, I would work out. That's number 5. When I first got there, I would write down my dreams and goals. That's number 4. And so number 3 was the audios. I would pray before I left. And then number 2, read. I would read on my break. So I had to make it happen. And I would listen to Eric Thomas, and he like, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you know. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. It's like, what is he talking about?
What is he talking about?
I'm breathing right now.
Yeah. And I don't even know I'm suffocating because I'm living in insanity in what society tells us we're supposed to do, right? Get a job, white picket fence, get a degree.
It's security.
Have your kids because before you get too old, and all this stuff leaves you in debt and struggling check to check and not caring about generational health, wealth, and mindset and not leaving that behind for anyone else. So that's how Coach Ablaza was born. I was born out of the Rule of 5.
Got you. And so what was the transition between Coach Ablaza saying, I'm going to quit this uniform job and I'm now going to be Coach Amber Ablaza?
Okay,
Let's talk about
good
that
question.
part.
So what happened was it was the pandemic. The pandemic, did it hit in 2020?
2019, 2020.
2019. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was working that uniform company in 2019. And then, so I stayed there about a year. And then the pandemic hit. They sent me home, work from home, and then they laid me off. And so when they laid me off, I thought about my sister, who a couple months before they laid me off, before the pandemic, she invited me to a company. And the company's called Total Life Changes. Yes, they sell health and wellness products, weight loss tea. And so a couple months prior to being laid off, my sister said, hey, let's join this phenomenal company. We sell tea. And I was like, multi-level marketing,
yeah, she's like,
sell tea.
It's like, I've heard of Primerica. What a show.
Right, I had. So I was like, do I have to give them my social security number? Now, mind you, I don't got 2 nickels to rub together. So why does it matter?
Yeah.
Right? They're not stealing nothing. But I just didn't know, if it was a good opportunity. So fast forward back to being laid off. She was the first person I called. I said, hey, I got 2 kids, no jobs, no dollars. I'm like, I need to do something.
Yeah.
So I signed up for Total Life Changes. And that was the first part of Coach Ablaza. I was like a health and wellness coach. Mm-hmm.
As a coach now, what would you say a motivational coach actually does, or what do you do technically as a motivational coach?
Okay, so what does a motivational coach do? I would have to say what I do is I preach the same thing that helped me, which was the rule of 5. And so
Okay.
the rule of 5 works on your mindset. Because if you set your mind on what you want and you set it on positivity, you're going to have a good life. Without mindset, you don't have a good life. There's people with money but no mindset. Like, have you ever seen a celebrity unalive themselves?
Got you. Oh, we call them delete themselves?
Delete themselves?
Yes.
Yes. So they had the money, but the money meant nothing because money is a piece of paper. Money is a tool. That's why you should never stress out about it. But your life, you cannot get another one.
I like that. I was listening. I just love the way the universe and God works. I came across a John Maxwell talk, and he was talking about one of the most important things to do as a speaker, a good communicator, is being able to connect,
Mm-hmm.
and how the connection, being able to connect with your audience, is the most important thing, right? That should be your number one focus, is being able to connect. And I like how you said mindset. But I do agree. I think mindset is everything. If you think you're gonna be successful, I'm thinking about Kanye right now. If you think you're a bad motherfucker, then you bad, right? And if you think you're low and beneath, then you're not. And I think sometimes I have a quote that I say, which is misery is guaranteed, but your happiness is not. So you have to pursue your happiness, right? And so sometimes I think people need to be reminded about their greatness, or that they have greatness within them. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes
Yes.
it's so easy to get caught in like, I'm nothing, I'm less than. And so sometimes I think people need to be reminded, hey, you are great, you are special. If you believe in the higher being, you are made in God's image and likeness, right? If you believe in
Right.
that. So if you believe God is great and the things around are great, then so are you. You just got to believe it, type of thing,
So true.
right?
So true. And I don't know what made me think of this, but as you were talking about God, I thought that God is a creator. Some people don't know that he created us to create. So everybody has a dream. Everybody has a purpose inside of them to do what they love to do, but you have to find what that is. But the only way to do that is to get up, work on your mindset, put in the work. Faith without works is dead.
As they say.
As they say, is dead. So I want you to know, if you're watching this, I want you to hold your hand up and look at it. Only you have your fingerprints. There's only one of you, one of one. And you have to figure out what you love to do so you can serve your purpose. Your purpose is to serve others doing what you love to do. And as long as you don't serve your purpose and doing what you love to do, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be anxious all the time until you let your gift out.
And have panic attacks, anxiety.
Yeah.
It's interesting. When you said lift your hand up and look at it, I thought you were going to say, now lick it. I don't know why. It's like, now lick it.
Now you play.
Now lick it.
Now lick it.
The snozberries taste like snozberries. As a motivational coach, can everybody be motivated? Because I feel like some people feel like, I can't be motivated. Do you think everybody can be motivated? And if so, how?
Well, that's interesting. Can everybody be motivated is a good question, because as I told you in my origin story, my mom couldn't motivate me to do the rule of 5. And so that's why I preach mindset so much, because it has to start in the mind. To be able to be motivated, you have to open your mind up. And what I like to tell people is, where are you at in life right now? Because if you're not where you want to be, take advice from someone that's already been in your shoes and has made it through. Do not trust yourself to keep going on the same journey, the same path of insanity.
Yeah, we don't want. I was like, yeah, you don't want to be insane because, if you live out here on the streets of Los Angeles, you can easily walk around and see people pushing carts and
Yes.
their pants, right? And I guess that's them repeating the same thing over. But, no disrespect to them, they yeah, I won't go down that path. People make choices and sometimes the decisions make that. And yeah, I think we live in a society where it's really easy to become crazy.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be driven crazy.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to find peace and sanity.
Yes.
Right. And so I think really to double down on what Coach Ablaza is saying, I think it's really important, ladies and gentlemen, just to kind of, we live in a society where the rat race is really big and everyone's always constantly moving, always constantly chasing. And it can bring a lot of stress, anxiety, trying to keep up with the Joneses. And I think it's really important to just take a step back, sit down and breathe.
Yes.
That just take some time and breathe. And I have this in my next book coming out, but it's really important just to sit back and breathe because this rat race, this insanity, this thing that's driving you crazy, if you don't take care of yourself, you will implode.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want that to happen. I know you don't want that to happen. So just take some time for self.
Yes.
And breathe, because if you can, being your best self can only transfer over to helping other people being a better self or being a better resource for other people.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Did you want to say something?
Yes, that's very important. So be your best self. And there's a notion that, oh, that's the best that I could do.
Okay.
Or there's a notion that I'm doing my best. And there's a lot of these notions and these norms that society tell you, and I want you to stop using them. If you hear everybody saying the same thing, then something's not right. 99% of people are the same. 1% of people work on their mindset. And actually, 1% of people have all the wealth in the world, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that 1% is where I want to be in both spectrums, right?
Okay. Got you.
Yes.
Have you heard of the 5%ers? It's reminding me of that. Have you heard of the 5%ers?
I don't. Is it a book?
It's I guess people would say it's a lifestyle and mindset.
Okay. No, I don't think I've heard of. So wait, just the topic or like an actual publication? I guess is what I'm.
It's it's kind of like a movement, a mindset. I think it started on the East Coast, like New York people.
Okay, because I've heard of like that in general.
The 5%ers?
Yeah.
Should we elaborate, folks?
Let's do
it. So what it says is that 85% of the population is deaf, dumb, and blind, cattle and sheep. 10% of the world knows about supreme knowledge and supreme mathematics, and they use it against the 85 to control them. And then 5% also knows that supreme mathematics, but they use it for positivity, light, and enlightenment.
Okay, so I have not heard it broken down like that. That was good though, and it made sense.
Yeah, so that's the 5%ers, and correct me, folks, if I didn't get it all the way correct and stuff like that. But that's what I heard about 5%ers. So a lot of like people like RZA from Wu-Tang is a 5%er. People like that, Raekwon, those cats are like 5%ers. I think Talib Kweli is like a 5%er. These are all rappers and MCs, folks. If you don't know, some may know, some may not know. So let's continue on. So, we met at a beautiful Inland Empire Choice Awards, right?
Yes.
And shout out to the All Smiles Foundation. But we talked about how, during your journey of becoming a coach and doing these things, that you met a gentleman named Les Brown.
Oh, yes, I have.
Right? So what are some of the great lessons that you learned from Les Brown?
Well, actually, when you were speaking earlier, you said about people having greatness in them. And one of his quotes is, "You have greatness in you." And that's just one of the biggest things, because he says, so he'll call me and I'll tell him like, today is your day. Everything always works out for you. And then he'll go, That's right. Who motivates the motivator? He like, Coach Ablaza. And I'm like, yes, thank you. But
You got his direct line?
yes.
Okay. Shout out to you.
Shout out to me.
Hey.
Yes. So I've learned a lot from him though, just how to be poised when speaking, how to speak. Like I've been a speaker, I believe, for the past 2 years. And for half of that time, I've been working with Les Brown. So I've known him for over a year now. I've been his coaching mastermind, been to his events. And one of the biggest lessons he gave me is simple, but I've figured out that simple stuff is very important when being an entrepreneur, when working on your mindset. And he told me, he said, don't practice what you preach what you practice. And a lot of people will tell you to do different stuff. Let's just say, for example, the rule of 5. People will tell you to do a routine, but they won't be doing it. And so the only reason that I'm able to tell you to do something is because I do it. And so I made a vow that the way that I preach, I will practice all of that before I tell anybody to do anything. And so that's out in the open and that's behind closed doors. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and I do the rule of 5 every day. And I take life very seriously because I only have one life to live. Live, not struggle forever. Live.
Yeah. Thrive.
Thrive in 25.
That's what we're talking about. Hey, I like
yes.
that. You know, shout out to Les Brown and shout out to you. And what I really like about really good speakers is that they use great stories and examples to connect to like their messages, you know, and sometimes like I said, I was listening to John Maxwell yesterday and he was talking about um, some of the worst speakers in the world will say, they'll ask their audience a question that the audience doesn't know the answer to. Like, how far is the moon from here? And it's like, well, like you're not connecting with your audience. You're making it seem like you're better than them because only you know
Right.
the answer.
Right.
And he used a great story about when he went to a tour and the tour guy would ask the audience the answer, or ask the tour the answer, and then no one knew the answer. And so after a while, they would like hide whenever he would turn around and ask the question because no one felt comfortable, as opposed to being relatable, like saying, man, how many people liked wearing masks during COVID? What did you feel like?
Right.
We can all relate to stuff like that,
Right.
you know? And forgot where I was going with this, but basically I think yes, using examples, visual examples, storytelling
Yeah.
examples to help connect with the message.
Yeah.
I find it super, super important. I feel like you wanted to say something. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I was just wanted to agree with you that
Okay.
storytelling is important. He says, never tell a story without a point and never tell a point without a story. And so I feel like I need some more stories, y'all. I got to become a storyteller. But I always think I'm like, that's something that I can definitely improve on.
Okay.
Finding relatable stories. But yeah, I agree with you. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I think the mom story, I think the story you told about your origin is a really, really relatable story that can
Yeah.
connect to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True. It does.
Yes, I think it's a really good story, and about the perseverance and like, you know what, like this job. A lot of people can relate to not wanting to work a job that they hate.
Yeah. That's true.
Was it Les Brown that said this thing about? I'm not sure if it was Les, but I remember someone was telling me, or no, I think it was, shout out to Dave Anderson, the business bully. I think he was the one that said like, majority of people die or have heart attacks on Monday mornings between like 8 and 11. And the reason why is because majority of people start work at that time.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. But it's true.
Makes sense, right?
It's true. Yeah. People hate Mondays and they love Fridays.
That part.
And that's just a cycle if you let it continue.
Reminds me of Garfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hated Mondays, by the way, folks. If you guys didn't know, he's a cat. Meow, meow. You know, and speaking of Les Brown, I kind of wanted to know what made you wanted to start this Les Brown Presents Legendary Speakers, you know, why and what, and yeah. What made you want to start that?
Okay. Well, Les Brown asked us to go live with each other. and just, spread the word, spread positivity, mindset, freedom from the journey of the broke. That's what made me start it. He personally asked me to do it. So I said, okay, let me make a flyer. Let me get everybody's schedule, see what the topics they want to speak on are. And that's how it started. Pretty simple.
Gotcha. What have you learned the most from some of these experiences?
From these experiences, I've learned different quotes from other speakers. I've learned how their mind works, how they work on their mindset. And you can never stop learning. I think it's very important to be open-minded, to keep learning. And actually, I was at the Bebop Center. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, so the Bebop Center is a Black and Brown Opportunity for Profit center, and they help women build businesses and brands that make money. Okay,
Hello.
Dr. Kim Carter Tillman does not play. But I was at that center, and we were talking about pitching, so pitching our business, which essentially means you're talking to your audience, your target client, potential customer, and you're saying something to get them to react, respond, to spend money, whatever you're looking for, right? And I was working on that pitch with someone named Annette. I think she's one of the directors there. And she was telling me like, hey, no, don't start your pitch like that. And then I was like, at first, I created the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I created the start, the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like, wait, I like that. I like how I started it.
Yeah.
But I'm always open to learn. I'm always open for education. And so I said, all right, let me step out of this as if this is not me. I said, okay, Annette, how do I start the pitch? Because if she tells me the hook is not going to resonate, the hook is going to have them stuck, then that's not what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I stepped down as Coach Ablaza and I stepped up as a student. And I knew, okay, it's time for me to learn.
So what was your old pitch and what's your new pitch?
Oh my gosh, y'all. No, he didn't. Okay. So.
Yes, I did.
So my old pitch was nearly 700,000 people die from suicide a year.
Okay.
2,000 on a day-to-day basis. You as a motivational speaker can help change these statistics. A lot of motivational speakers don't stand out because they don't have a brand in an oversaturated marketplace. Let me, Coach Ablaza, help you build your brand so you can use your voice to inspire and impact others now. That's the old pitch. Tell me about the hook.
It starts off kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, 7,000 people die? Oh, God. Am I one? That's the needed thing. It's like, oh, wow.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it starts off doom and gloom. Shout out to CGA.
Doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, that it also connects with people's emotions. That's why I thought to use it as first. But Annette was saying, I think she said her nephew or maybe her cousin, they committed suicide and she couldn't leave that part of the pitch because she did connect with it. It was hard for her to leave it. So after the hook, you start thinking about somebody that that passed away from suicide.
Yeah.
So that was the old hook. So the new hook, I'm still working on it, y'all. But to be honest, I went on ChatGPT.
Uh-oh. She cheated.
I cheated.
God, she got a little assistance.
Hey,
Okay.
I use ChatGPT every single day.
Oh, okay. We might have to talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
But so ChatGPT said to just tell the speakers, I help you stand out in an oversaturated marketplace by helping you build your brand. So that's the gist of it. I have to remember it in full. But so just to get straight to the point and tie it to the person I'm talking to, but I got to build that pitch, y'all. This was a couple days ago.
Okay, it's recent. It's fresh.
Yeah, this just happened.
Okay. Hey, perfect timing. We always on the right time here,
Perfect.
folks. Always on the right time here. You mentioned that Les Brown told you to start doing this, going live, connecting with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything that Les Brown tells you to do that you're like, you know what, I don't want to do it because it doesn't resonate with me? Are you just like, or are you in the mindset where you're like, you know what, Les Brown is Les Brown for a reason and I got to follow everything he says? Talk to us.
So, really quick. Most of the people watching this, if you know me, you know I had blonde hair. I had a blonde wig, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Les Brown told me, he said, that wig is too distracting. Because because it was distracting him. Hold on.
Got you.
How would he know? And I was playing. But he said it was too distracting. He said Marilyn Monroe is a white woman. She wears blonde. You're not white.
He hit you with it.
He hit me. Yeah. And so I did not stop immediately. However, typically I would, whatever he tells me to do, I know that you don't get to number one not knowing what you're talking about. So whatever he tells me, I typically do incorporate it immediately. Most people will say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it Monday, this, that, and the other. But so for the wig, it took me a little minute, y'all, a few months. But in general, I just follow his knowledge. And what I like to tell people, and thank you for bringing this up, is that, well, I said it earlier kind of, but if you have a coach or you have someone helping you that's already walked those steps, listen to them, because it'll turn decades into days if you just follow the footsteps they've already set. They've made mistakes, and you're not going to make those same mistakes if you listen to them. But if you don't listen to them, which I have done in the past years, it takes longer.
A lot longer.
A lot longer.
Yeah.
When you don't listen.
And I like to say, why work harder when it's so much easier to follow someone who's done it? I think I was telling someone before, like, imagine sailing the ocean and you don't know where you're going, but if you have a captain that's already sailed this ocean so many times, wouldn't you just want to follow that captain's lead?
Right. Right.
And to double down on the wig thing, I personally think you look a lot better without the wig. I like the natural hair look. I think it looks a lot more flyer. It brings more of your authentic self for me personally.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think we did meet, and she did have the blonde wig, right? She had it out. You know, Marilyn Monroe had the blonde hair.
Marilyn Monroe.
Got you. Mr.
Okay.
President.
Now hold on, because you telling jokes. We telling jokes here.
We're having fun.
Well, you said when somebody was selling the ocean, I said, why would somebody do that? Why would they sell the ocean?
Okay. For how much?
Why my brain had to catch up. I was like, oh, selling. Okay.
You here. Got you.
I'm like, okay.
Like, how do they do that?
How they do?
They sell an oxygen. I guess they could sell the ocean.
I guess so.
Right? How much you can sell the ocean for?
Oof. It's most of the earth. Well, let's go for $1 trillion.
Boom. I bet if they own islands, I'm pretty sure somebody owns something part of the ocean too. Right?
Probably.
Yeah. We're going to get into that. We're going to
get there. We're going to get there.
Amber, we're having fun. I hope you're having fun. You know, and we're human, right? So not every day is always going to be, I'm on top of the world, I'm consistent, I'm moving hard, you know. So who or what helps motivate you when you're feeling a little bit off, having an off day?
Yes. When I'm feeling a little bit off, okay. Now, I was studying this the other day. There's extrinsic motivation and there's intrinsic motivation. And so the extrinsic for me, I listen to Myron Golden, Myron Golden.
Shout out to Myron Golden.
Shout out to him. I listen to Eric Thomas, Les Brown. That's the extrinsic part for me. Now the intrinsic, when I'm having an off day, I have to think, why am I living? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And so my why is my kids. I now have 3 kids. Okay. It took us a while to get there, y'all. But I have 3 kids.
Okay.
And generational health, wealth, and mindset is my goal for them. That's also my goal for the motivational speakers that I help now build their brands. Because I want that for them and I want that for their kids. And so when I'm having a bad day, I just think about my why. When I'm having a bad day, I'm just my therapist. I walk through my feelings and I say to myself, okay, why are you depressed? Why are you sad? And so at one point I'll just share, like, y'all know I keep it hot, honest, open, and transparent.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I was like, I don't know, probably 200 pounds. Let's go for that. And so I'm wearing girdles and all that.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'5.5".
Okay.
Yeah.
200 pound, 5'5".
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Can y'all see it? Oompa. You gotta stop with the jokes is cracking me up. But so I was just unhappy with that weight, and I'm like, okay, so now what are you gonna do about it? So earlier I told you faith without works is dead. I can't faith my way into a new body. I got to put in the work. So I told myself, okay, let's start doing 5 miles a day.
Walking, running.
Walking.
Okay.
Yep. So I started walking 5 miles a day. And so just to tie it back in, whatever I don't like, I'm going to change it. Because when something has you depressed, anxious, you either change it or you change your attitude about it. So me knowing that, it's once in a while that I have a completely bad day. I probably say once a month, since that's in a while. But yeah, so I just work through it. Why are we feeling like this? How can we change it? What can we do?
As opposed to just sitting there and having the pity party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you cannot buy time, so therefore you cannot waste it. And with me knowing that, I will not waste a whole day ever again. Because people, one of the notions society tells us is, I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
And that's 24 hours, and that's too much. That's too much time to waste.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I guess a bad day can be all about a perspective.
It's a perspective.
Right? Do you have food? Do you have shelter?
Yeah.
Can you call somebody and say, I love you too? Is it still a bad day?
Is it?
Right?
Yeah, you got to find what you're grateful for. I
Yeah.
say that every morning. And so it's kind of hard to have a bad day when you say what you're grateful for, because you realize all the necessities that you have, you know, food, shelter, and some people don't even have that. So, yeah.
A sound enough mind to actually address the gratefulness.
Yeah.
You know, this is making me think, because I think prayer was one of the rule of 5, right?
Yeah.
How important is God in your life?
God is very important. God has to be number one. He's number one in my life. And so for some time, he wasn't number one, but I was raised in church. And so I knew I was sinning on purpose.
Mhm.
That's all I was doing. Sinning on purpose, not in my word, not praying every day. I kind of got caught up in social media at one point because, you know, we take a picture of the food before we pray for it now.
I got you.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah.
So
Letting the gram pray for you.
letting the ground pray for you in that picture. So
Mhm.
I got back to praying over my food. I got back to having God number one in my life, because as long as he wasn't number one, like, my life was not right. Like, you know, you're sinning on purpose, you know, doing different things. And so I was like, okay, like, I'm very intentional about my life.
You have to
Very
be.
intentional.
You have to be.
Have to be. Yeah.
Have you heard about the concept that the way we hold our phones is kind of like we're praying to it?
That's crazy.
2 hands and the thumbs.
That's crazy.
It's like a prayer.
Yeah.
Makes you think a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We're looking down, bowing, right? Usually.
Got me stuck.
Hello. Get her out of the matrix. Neo, no.
Get me out, please.
Morpheus. Going back to the creator, if you had one question that you could ask God, what would it be?
One question. Man, what kind of question would I ask? You know, I'm gonna just ask the question that I first thought of. Are we gonna pay for Eve's mistake forever?
Okay, let's enlighten folks on Eve's mistake.
Eve ate that apple. Okay, she ate it, and so, don't you about to get me started?
Let's go.
You about to get me started?
Let's go.
So
Get started. Get going.
Myron Golden, he talks about how our minds are focused on poverty, how our minds are focused on lack. So much so that they had the whole garden, but they were focused on that one tree with those apples that they were not supposed to eat. And so when your mind is focused on lack, you cannot see your abundance. And so that's why I would ask God, are we going to pay for her mistake forever?
Actually, how are we paying today for the mistake?
It's kind of almost like it's not we, it's me.
Okay.
Come on, my women, can you feel me?
Talk to us.
Okay.
Enlighten us that are not
It's
the woman.
It's the childbirth.
Okay.
It's the cycle for me.
Okay.
So I think that was some of what I was thinking of.
Mhm.
But when Myron breaks it down, it's kind of like a lot of us are still living in lack. And do we not see the abundance? We do not see what we're grateful for. We don't see it, right? And so it could be that portion of it as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you think, like, God, like, how long do we have to, like, suffer from, like, having cramps and stuff like that? and the pains of childbirth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Got you. I'm not a woman, but I did hear that once you do give birth to the child, like the pain is kind of gone immediately. From your experience, was that how it was for you?
Well, I had a C-section.
Okay, every
So,
time, all 3 times.
yeah. I
Okay.
had the pain before the C-section all 3 times, but yeah, I guess after, take the baby out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't it dangerous to keep on doing the C-section multiple times?
Yeah. I don't know. Something just told me like, just keep doing it.
Okay, you were.
I don't know. Like in my mind, I was like, can I have a natural birth now? Is it gonna rip the original C-section? Like, I don't know. It was something inside of me that was telling me like, do it again.
Okay, a little panic attack happening right there.
I don't know. I was like, do it again.
It's like, just do it. Cut me open.
Do it again.
Cut me open. I actually think, according to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Africans created the first C-section, actually.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe Africans created the first
They
C-section.
created the first of a lot.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not named after. Do you know what C-section's short for?
Cesarean?
Yes, and do
Yeah.
you know what that's the name?
I don't know what the cesarean means.
I believe it comes from Julius Caesar, Emperor of Rome.
Oh.
Caesarian, Caesar,
Oh. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I think is kind of cool to be people to use your name in things, right?
Mhm.
Like Caesar salad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Named after him as well. Anyway, but we're going down some interesting roads here, folks.
Yeah.
We're having a good time,
Yeah.
Coach Ablaza wasn't ready for this, but I think we're having a good time, Coach.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
having a great time. I love it.
yeah. We're gonna keep going. So Amber, I wanted to ask, like, how important do you think it is to have a personal brand today? Maybe not personally for you, but just in general. How important do you think it is that's a personal brand and maybe also a business brand? How important do you think those things are today?
Your brand precedes you. Your brand walks into the room before you even walk in. So it is very important and imperative to have a brand. And what does a brand look like? A brand can be colors. A brand could be your reputation, if we're talking about a personal brand. But I believe it is very important. When you build your brand, like I said earlier in the interview, you build know, like, and trust. And so your brand has to be known to make it anywhere. You want it to be international though. Okay, let me be clear. Now, it's good to be known, but what are you known for? What is your brand known for? So once you become known for that one thing, mind you, I said one. The times of you babysitting, doing taxes, and changing brakes is over. Okay.
Okay, multitasking.
One.
Okay,
Multitasking. That's another thing that society told us was okay, but it's not good for you, and it's not good for your pockets either.
talk to us about why. Talk to us about why.
Let's see about why. Okay.
Yeah.
You should focus on one thing at a time. And because when you actually start working on something, you see how much work it takes to do that one thing. When you focus on multiple things, they're not going to turn out right. So you want to focus on your one niche, your one business, your one brand. So if you do that, you build up the know factor. Once they get to know you, they start liking you if you're nice. And then, or if you have a good product, a good brand, and then they start to trust you. When they start to trust you, and I never said write this down in here, but write this down, is when you get to 7, 11, 4. So it's going to be 7 hours, 11 interactions, and 4 places. And so the big Fortune 500 companies, they're on every corner. They get to these 7 hours, 11 interactions, and 4 places quickly.
Can you give us an example of one of these companies?
Yeah. So McDonald's.
Bam.
Yeah, McDonald's. In Ohio, there was a city I lived in. It's called Xenia, and they had 2 McDonald's. It was a really small town, but that's a really big brand, so I guess it doesn't matter. But we want you to have your brand on every corner as well, right? So that's why it's important to have a good brand, because if we do get into like the business brand, you have to have brand colors. You have to have a mission, vision statement. You have to have a slogan. You have to have a motto. And so sometimes we're like, well, what does all that mean? Right? But those are things you need for a brand. You need a logo, you need a website so that they can see you. Examples of those 7 hours, you can be going live on Instagram. They can see you in person. They can see you on a podcast interview like this. The 11 interactions, you can see them on Instagram Live. You can see them on Facebook Live. The 4 places: social media, in person, on the corner, your buildings on every corner like McDonald's, right? So, yeah.
I like that. 7-Eleven 4?
Yes.
I like that. I mean, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but for me, when instead of 7-Eleven, I was like, why is she talking about 7-Eleven? But open 24/7. But, I like it. I really like it because it's also saying like the more places you can be seen and be known, the more people know that you exist and your brand exists.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Do you think that there's some people who don't need a brand or shouldn't have a brand? And on the opposite end, that there's people who definitely need to have a brand? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
So, if you have a job, then technically you don't need a brand. But if you have a business or you want to have just a personal brand, which the answer's in there, but everybody needs a brand. Yeah. If you want to be known for something, for that one thing that you offer, the one niche, you need a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I remember hearing the difference between a personal brand and then like a business brand, right? And so a good example would be like Elon Musk is a personal brand, right? And they say that your personal brand sometimes is more important than your business brand because your personal brand can make your business thrive better. So the reason why Tesla does well and SpaceX does well is because Elon Musk as a personal brand is so popular that people want to invest in that personal brand. And I find that so amazing. And I think I heard the same thing with oh God, I can't think of his name right now. But he's a graphic artist and he does the show called The Future. Oh God, I feel so bad I don't know his name. He's such a great guy, but his personal brand as well. Same thing for Gary Vanderchuck, like personal brand, or even Myron Golden, right? His personal
Yeah.
brand
Yeah.
helps push his business brand. And I just think it's like so crazy, like how strong personal brand has grown to affect the business brand, right? Sometimes the
Yeah.
personal is more important than the business.
Well, okay, you're right. So when you go into your personal brand being more important, it's because people don't buy products, they buy people. I'm gonna give you an example. It's gonna be extreme. Trump.
Let's go.
Either you like him or you don't.
Okay.
And so if you like him, you'll support whatever he does.
All right, shout out to the new
right?
president.
Shout out to the press. Okay. Is it day 2 technically?
Yeah,
Day 2?
yeah.
Day 2.
Okay.
But yeah, so they have to know the person to want to buy the products. Like if it's Trump and you don't like him, you're not gonna buy his products. Just simply put.
Did you see the sneakers that he came out with?
No.
Oh, he came out with some sneakers that had like gold on it.
What?
All these colors. I was like, you know what? I respect Trump, man. This man is, I think he's almost 80 years old, and I think his hustle is just his hustle, his sharp mind. Like I'm just like, man, Trump, like you onto something, man. Like you people he's very polarizing, people would say, right?
Yeah.
But you can't deny like his business smarts, his mind, his movement. Like he's more active than people that are 20 years old. Like he's more moving.
That is true.
All right.
That's true. At the end of the day, he gonna get his paper.
He gonna get that paper. He's gonna be it. And
yeah.
how do you feel about our new president? Do you think it's good for the country, or do you think it's gonna hurt the country? What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, in which my pastor that works at this building.
Got you.
Well, what my pastor said was that at the end of the day, God is in control of our lives. And if you're with God, you know that. So that's my only opinion on Trump, because I have a leader that is omnipresent. And with him being omnipresent, I know that everything always works out for me. So I don't have any negative feelings towards the president. I don't have any positive feelings towards the president. I don't have any feelings towards him.
Okay. You're just like, okay.
Yeah. I'm just like, y'all know what they say? It is what it is.
It's one of them.
I'm still going to handle my business how I've always handled it. And I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I don't know if that sounds ignorant or not, but God got me. So
I like it.
That's my only opinion.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be pretty good. I think I was listening to some of the executive orders that he was talking about, and I'm just like, wow, he's really going for that bag, and I respect that because he knows how to move to get that money right for the country. And that's what he was saying. He said something really interesting. He was like, Joe Biden's people came to me, but I don't need money. I want the best for the country to get money. And I was like, that's a great answer. He's like, I don't need money. Like, I want the best for the country. And I was like, that's a great answer. And it was good. And so I have a quick game for you if you're interested in playing.
All right.
All right. So I have a picture here.
Okay.
And I want you to look at it. Here,
Okay.
go ahead and take it.
Oh, okay. Take it. I'm sorry.
Take it. And I want you to look at it and tell me, what do you think it is and what is it saying?
Okay. Well, so at first I think it's a person laying down pregnant. And then I feel like it's two doctors. The glasses is giving me sophisticated.
Okay.
And then I feel like that's a kid. So I don't know if they're having the baby, maybe. I think they're having the baby.
Okay, flip it over. See what it says.
Okay, let me see. Okay, birth of my daughter. What does that say? Judah?
Yeah, that's
Judah.
Judah
Okay.
one. That's the artist's name who drew the painting.
Okay. And then this is 118. Did you have a kid a couple days ago?
No, that's the artist Judah, and that's the painting that he drew of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like they're his kid.
Yes.
Okay, got you. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, did you? Congratulations, Judah.
So now, if you would indulge us, I would like you to draw
Okay.
a quick, brief, important moment that happened in your life.
Okay, so draw a moment. And
Yeah, there should be another piece of paper behind there.
Okay,
So,
got you.
A blank
Look,
piece.
let me tell you something. Can y'all see this? At
I'm
first,
gonna show him.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bad. At
I'm gonna
first,
show
I
him.
was like, is this me having those 3 C-sections?
There, that part.
I said, did he draw that while I was talking?
That part.
Okay.
Yeah. So, quick sketch of an important moment that happened in your life.
Okay, an important moment. Let me see.
5.
2025. We live in 25, y'all.
Yep. I want to talk to you about the brand Pretty Girls Don't Work.
Yes.
What is it about? Why did it start? Who's it for? Talk to us.
Okay. Pretty Girls Don't Work. This brand means that we work smarter and not harder. And I also have a branding agency that ties into that. It's called Pink Collar Brands. So you've heard of blue collar, you heard of white collar, and we know what those mean. And pink collar means that we're living our dreams, where we have our business. So that's what pink collar is. You have your own business, okay? We don't work for anybody else. But back to Pretty Girls Don't Work. So Pretty Girls Don't Work is for female entrepreneurs, ages 25 to 55. I show them how to brand their businesses. I show them how to work on their mindset, because that's important. We also do social media training. But yeah, that's what that community is about. It's for female entrepreneurs. The colors are pink and green, and just we're working smarter.
Yeah. Isn't there a sorority that uses the color pink and green?
Yes. Okay. The sorority is AKAs, and it's crazy because let me give my origin story.
Let's go.
In about 30 seconds, y'all.
Meow.
So
29.
I had something called social school, and it was the same thing. And it was like for men, women, this is my first community for like entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And social school was a popular name, I came to realize. So I was like, okay, I got to rebrand. I was like, okay, Pretty Girls Don't Work. Okay, we got that. And then I said, hey, Mom, I'm getting to rebrand my community. I'm going to use purple and green. Purple's my favorite color. And I already had pink as my brand color, as Coach Ablaza.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And pink was also the social school color, but I wanted to do purple and green. And so, no shade, Mom. Just want you to know. And so my mom was like, your color's already pink. Don't you need to keep it consistent? Keep the brand consistent? I was like, you know what? She's right. And so I took the purple out. This is no cap. And I put the pink in. And so
Let's go.
So then I end up using pink and green as a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, which my colors is red. And I see AKAs and they're like, are you a soror? And I see Deltas and are you an AKA? And so I'm in a bind, Nate.
Uh-oh.
That's all I know.
Got you. Can we get out of that bind? Or we
We're in there.
Okay.
I have this trademarked. So
Okay.
I'm not getting out of the colors.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's a wrap.
Maybe some collaborations, maybe? Partnerships?
No, maybe, because it's all for the greater good.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Why not? they, when I think the name Pretty Girls Don't Work, I think of soft girl era. So, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this where sugar babies get to mess with? And
That's what Les Brown says too.
okay.
He says, when I think about Pretty Girls Don't Work, I think y'all want a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Les, that's not it. But you want something that provokes people's thoughts. And here it is. Pretty Girls Don't Work. And
Okay.
so people love it. People buy the shirts. They want to represent it. They can't wrap their mind around it. Well, and keep thinking about it, baby.
Okay, so me and Les were on the same page.
Y'all on the same page.
The sugar baby. Shout out to you, Les.
And shout out to Les. It ain't about that, but some people might think that. So
yeah,
maybe
you can kind of like play a little bit with that a little bit more about the like pretending that it's a sugar baby thing, but it's like self sugar baby. Maybe.
Your business. You your own sugar mama.
That's far.
Sugar.
Sugar. I used to have a song go, sugar mama, sugar daddy, sugar mama, sugar. We won't go in that way.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about, because you're a businesswoman, right? And it takes a lot of work, a lot of persistence, and I'm not sure. Are you in a relationship right now? You are?
Oh no, I'm just listening to the question.
Okay. How is the dating scene as a businesswoman, right? Because I know it's got to be. I'm assuming it's got to be a little difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So how is the dating scene as a businesswoman?
Woosah. What Doche say? Dochi. What she say, y'all? Woosah. Okay. So the dating scene is different. Yeah, shout out my girl. It's different because of my mindset, though. So it's not that I'm a businesswoman and it's different. It's because of my mindset. Because people can have money and they cannot have a mindset. And so now I can see if somebody attempts to, date me, I can see where their mindset is just by a list of questions that I ask. Mm-hmm. And so that's really the problem. Like, do you have a mindset? I'm not worried about no type of money. I got 3 kids. I got me. I need a man that's going to lead me. I need a man that's led by God, because it has to go God, man, family, and then so on. Okay. That's the order for me. And so a lot of people, they don't have that. They don't have God leading them. They don't have anybody leading them.
Okay.
And they don't work on their mindset. And so it's a journey. And I'm just in it.
Got you. And they might be led by the wrong thing, like
right.
Their cell phone or something.
Their cell phone, vices, the stuff they're addicted to. So, like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't go to the club, I don't do a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to date somebody that does, because we're just going to end up being unequally yoked. Because they believe in stuff that I don't believe in.
Yeah. So you do believe, so you would follow the leadership of a man.
Yeah.
If they're on the right program.
Right. If they're on the right program. Because I cannot follow Stevie Wonder.
But Stevie Wonder knows what he's doing.
I don't know. He is blind though, y'all. Okay. Catch it.
Is he successful though? Is he successful?
Is he successful though? Look, Stevie Wonder's successful, but he's blind. I will not follow a blind leader, essentially.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Where is he leading us to? To the promised land or to poverty? To work on our mindset or to smoke a blunt? Where are we going?
Okay.
Bluntly.
Got you.
What are we doing?
So she ain't finding a blind man without a purpose.
Exactly.
Got you. So the difficulty of it is finding men that are on the right program. Right? What has been some of the men that you've come across? What have been their mindsets? Because I'm pretty sure you've probably been in rooms with men with great mindsets. I'm assuming.
I have.
But,
that's a twofold. Let's go to the first one. So who do I come into contact with? I come into contact with the 99. And so earlier we talked about 5%ers, and that's a whole different definition than what I'm referring to. But still, people think it's 5 to 10% of people that are different. But in my viewpoint, I think it's 1.
Okay.
And so I go with the 99. And so the 99 don't work on their mindset. The 99 are, sometimes living check to check or just distracted by different stuff, different vices, right? Mm-hmm. And so their mindset is, sometimes you can't motivate them. Sometimes you can't get them to want to change, because you really can't change other people in the first place. But that's a part of their mindset. Like, they're set in their ways. I'm going to work a job. I'm going to do this. Like, I don't know. Hopefully that didn't
No, you're good.
take too long to
No,
answer
you're good.
that.
No, you
but,
take your time. Take your time. There's no rush here.
Yeah.
Amber, there's
so,
no rush.
Yeah, that's the mindset they're in.
The 99.
Struggling,
Okay.
surviving. That's,
Okay.
or just, it's, negativity.
Got you.
Yeah.
So you haven't come across anyone that you said, okay, this person has potential. This person has potential. They just need a little bit of guidance and I'm willing to help them. None of that has ever come
Okay.
across?
So what you said next was that I've been in rooms with men,
Yeah,
right? Like,
possibly.
and I mean
yeah.
like conferences, not hotel rooms.
No, we weren't going there.
We just got to make sure y'all clear.
We're very
Conferences,
Yeah,
right?
talking about conferences.
That's right.
You don't
But,
think a woman that would wear a suit would be doing things like that? Kamala? No, but
Okay, hold on. Okay, so like conferences, I find that a lot of people at conferences, they're in a relationship
already.
or they're married already, because people can see a good man, okay? And so people be having them snatched up. That's what I've seen. Like, and a lot of people don't know how to stay single. So
Okay.
I feel like society tells us, like, get a man, have a kid, get married. And sometimes people just settle. They get married for no reason. I mean, but that they want to be married, or to not sin, you have to be married, like, which is technically true. Like, if you're shacking up with somebody, you're technically sinning. But so people are like, okay, let me get married. But what if it's not the right person? So they'll be married, they'll be in a relationship. So now your last question, have I come into contact with somebody that I was interested in?
Like they had potential. Like, okay, this person.
They have potential. Okay.
Yeah.
So like I've seen people that have had potential, but like they've been in relationships. So
Okay.
simply, yeah. Yeah.
Would you ever be, because, going back to like the 1%, there's only so many available men of this. Would you ever consider being part of a polyamorous relationship, I guess they call it?
Polyamorous. Is that like me, you, and her? Sister wives?
Yes.
No.
Not happening?
Hell nah.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
I done got black in here.
Got you. No Joseph and his wives?
Switch.
That part. No Joseph and his wife, or Jacob and his wife, Abraham and his wives.
That's interesting. The name choices that you chose just now sounded like names in the Bible to me. And
they are.
People in the Bible, I feel like they've done stuff like that. I don't know what they called it, but people did have several wives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. Those were biblical names, by the way.
My mind be moving too quick. I ain't even gonna say my next thought.
Yeah, say it. Let us know. We want to know.
I'm not gonna say it.
Do you guys want to know? They want to know.
They want to know.
We want to know.
Can I keep it hot?
Let's keep it hot.
Honest, open, and transparent.
Like hot grease.
Somebody said to me, because you asked, anybody with potential already in a relationship. Somebody said to me, they said, I studied the Bible and they was out there with several wives or concubines or whatever, because the person that attempted to talk to me was married. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, they did in the Bible. I'm like, no, I don't care what they did. Like, I believe God wants it to be one man, one woman in the relationship. So I would never.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Hey.
And my man is my man. I ain't sharing my man with nobody.
Nobody?
No.
Wouldn't it be nice though to like, you get tired of him, but like, hey, she could have him for today.
You know what? It was funny because I was talking to somebody the other day and I was like, when I get a man, he gonna have his own room.
There, see?
And I'm gonna have my own room.
There it is.
So I will get a break.
There it is.
I'm gonna give me a break.
Got you. Okay, well, best of luck out there. It's I've learned that it's becoming difficult and more difficult, but I think it's good that you have a foundation in God, right? And yeah, I guess never keep striving, right? Because I think it's also good for kids to have a male figure in their life as well, right?
Yeah.
For guidance, because they say usually the mother figure is the love and the father figure is the disciplinarian, right? To give like the order and direction. I wanted to ask you about motherhood, right? And the first thing that kind of came to my mind was because you mentioned your mom twice already.
Mm-hmm.
Dad got 1 mention, mom got 2 mentions. How important is your mom been in your life and her influence?
Well, first I want to respond to what you said inside of there. And I believe that kids do need a male figure, but I believe that you have to lead by example. So you can do all the discipline that you want, but if you're not leading by example, you're not living and walking what you're teaching them, they're not going to do it. So moving on from that, my mom has...
That's the preach what you practice thing.
Preach what you practice. My mom has been a very influential person for me. She's always been a hard worker, and I think that's where I get my hard working spirit from. Like, if it's time to go, I'm like, let's do it. Like how I went to college. They recruited me. I'm like, let's go to Ohio. Never been outside of California, that far. Like, I've been to Mexico then. But
Okay, shout out to you.
Shout out to Mexico.
¿Habla español?
Sí, habla español.
¿Sí? ¿Cómo se llama?
Coachablaza.
¡Ey! ¿Qué es tu favorito color?
You know what? For me not to know how to say pink is like, it's escaping me because I know how to say it.
That part. Yo creo que es rosa, pero no sé.
Sí.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway, continue.
Yes. So, throw me off with the Spanish. Hold on.
Habla conmigo en español, if tú quieres.
All right, not the whole thing, baby. Not the whole thing. But my mom's been very influential, led by example, always been a hard worker. She had to drive to work like an hour and a half every day, drive back the same time. And that was part of my story in the beginning, to where I was like, I'm driving too far. My mom did this already. I'm seeing the generational curses. I'm seeing it before I get too far into it, like 10, 20 years in. And so, not to mention, like, my mom's been working for like 30 years probably, because she's like, mama, don't get me, but my mom's like 50. So, like, since she was 20, since she had me, she's been working. And I'm like, no, that's enough. Like, I'm putting in the work. That's why I really take my life serious, because my mama got to retire. She tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I just want to return what she's given me. Love, time, money, just everything a mom is supposed to do, she does it. And you have to pay attention to titles. Mom, dad, sister, brother, uncle. Do those people live up to those titles? Because if they don't live up to them, you can't be stuck in the past on what they did to you wrong. Like, that holds people back for life. When people are not where they want to be, they go back to, well, my mom did this, or my dad didn't do this. Like, come on. You got to do better. Like, let go of the titles. But she did what she's supposed to do, and I'm very grateful for life.
Amen. Shout out to you, Mom.
Yes.
And I going back to basically forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, sometimes you have to forgive people so that way you can free yourself.
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
Because otherwise you'll just be held down by that thing, which, if you want to talk about, good spirit and bad spirit, that's a bad spirit thing to be, or a low frequency thing to be, holding to something in the past, when you can just let it go, forgive them, and move on, and realize that we're all imperfect beings living on this planet. And there was something that you said that I really wanted to address. And Mom, it was right there. God, it really bugs me when I can't remember the thing I was going to talk about. But
I was saying stopping generational curses. She drove far, so I didn't want to drive as far as her.
Yeah, when we come back to it, folks, I'm going to see it and be like, that's what I wanted to ask her.
It was another thing too.
Yeah,
He's gonna remember.
It's gonna remember, and I'll just strangle the camera later, and it'll be fine. But we're gonna get out of here in a little bit. Ablaza got a couple more questions, and we're gonna get out of here. Okay?
All right.
So I think that's super awesome about what you said about mom's influence.
Yes.
And motherhood, right? So how has motherhood changed from you and your perspective of it from before becoming Coach Ablaza to becoming Coach Ablaza?
Okay. Before Coach Ablaza, I had a regular mindset, and I thought that kids were responsibilities. They are, but there's more to the responsibility. There's nurturing, there's loving, there's caring. And so when you think something's a responsibility, you say to yourself, I have to. And now as Coach Ablaza, it's I get to. I get to spend time with my kids. I get to help them brush their teeth. I get to take them to the orthodontist because that's what I'm doing today. I get to though do that, and so you change the mindset on it, and you know that. Look, now you about to you like she gonna cry in this interview. Hold on.
No,
I make
that's
you
our
wanna cry.
space.
Hold
Let's
on,
go.
y'all.
Go ahead and cry. It's okay. I got
No,
tissue if you need some.
But you think that I think now as Coach Blaza, like these are my people, and they are my 100% responsibility, not their dad, not anybody else. And I'm not saying that their dad can't be a part of it. They are, but it's my responsibility and it's my duty to care, nurture, and love them so that they feel that within them forever, that they know that I care. They know I did my best. And so it's no longer I have to, it's I get to. And I have more patience now. I tell myself, I'm like, hey, these kids are not asked to be here. Like, you've got to get it together. Like, for a long time, before Coach Ablaza, Amber had a bad attitude. Amber,
Yeah.
I told y'all in the beginning, she was getting in the fights. That's the first thing I said about Aurel, right? And so, I had to change. This ain't Bad Girls Club. No, it's fine. But, yeah, like, I just had to get more patience, change my attitude, be more positive, no more, being, and I wouldn't be argumentative with my kids, but just in general, like, that's how my life was. And so I'm like, okay, tone it down. So yeah.
You gotta, in order to experience new things and become the better you have to leave the old you.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. What are some of the things that you tell your kids?
I tell my kids that they can, they will, and that they must be demanding. I tell them they can because they're capable, they will because they're strong, and they must because they counting on you. Who's counting on you? I'm like, you're counting on you. I'm counting on you. I tell them affirmations every morning. I have my son do the rule of 5 because he's fully competent to do it. He's 14. Okay. I give him affirmations for young men. I have affirmations for my daughters. I break down what the words mean. I was like, wait, do they know what resilience is? Mm-hmm. I was actually just saying affirmations with them for so long, and I was like, they probably don't even know what these words mean.
Yeah, it's like, I pledge allegiance to
be resilient.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you good.
But yeah, so we do affirmations, we pray together, we pray over our food together. Sometimes we meditate. And when I meditate, it's not about a religion. It's about closing your eyes and seeing what you want for your life. So what do they see for their life? What do they want to do? I don't even know what the question was, but what was it?
We good. Things that you tell your kids.
What I tell them. Okay, so I've
teach,
covered.
Tell,
I've
tell
covered.
And teach. Yes.
Oh, teach. Okay, teach.
Teach and tell. Yeah.
Because I was gonna go into teach.
Yeah.
I'm building my son a website, so I'm teaching him like how all of that works. I want him to be a content creator, entrepreneur. He plays basketball, but that's what society tells Black people to do. We love it, but there always has to be a backup plan behind sports.
Yeah.
Like, if you're already loving what you do, you're in your niche, like, I don't think you should have a plan B. But if you're in sports, I think let's plan B it. Because you can always get hurt. You can always not get drafted. So we're doing his website. He's done an ebook. I'm going to publish his book in paperback format. And this is what I'm teaching him. Like, how to do more, be more, and have more than the norm.
No, it's great, because what it made me think about was Kobe. Is like, Kobe is a great player, but what they do is, like, after the fact, they start becoming great investors. Well, the smart ones, they become great investors, right?
Yeah.
And now you're kind of, I remember I was talking to my aunt about this, which is like doing two things simultaneously, like parallels. Like, okay, you could do basketball, but also I'm going to teach you this skill at the same time that you can use later on in life. Yeah. So shout out to you. What's one of the affirmations you tell your son?
So one of the affirmations I tell him is, let me remember, because there's several of them on that paper.
Okay.
Well, I tell him, like, to say, I'm a leader. I am a leader. Leader and not a follower. I'm above and not beneath. I'm the lender and not the borrower. Okay. I'm loved by God. I'm chosen by God. I love God. Like, I just went right into all of them.
I love it. We'll take them all. And yes. And are they different for the girls? Different affirmations for the
The
girls?
girls are a little younger, so
Okay.
I kind of gave them words that I thought were easier, but those were the words I had to even explain what they meant. So, I am beautiful, I'm strong, I'm compassionate. And sometimes I'll just have him do those as well.
Okay.
And he'd be irritated, but okay. Like, people get irritated when it's something out of the norm and they're not used to it.
Don't understand it.
They don't understand it. And so a lot of times things that we don't see on TV, which is on purpose, like affirmations, it feels weird because you've never heard of them. Being positive feels weird, but why does being negative feel so natural?
That's part of that insanity.
Yeah, that's part of that insanity. Yeah.
You know, and we're going to get out of here pretty soon, but shout out to you for doing those things for your kids. They'll realize it, the benefit that you've been doing to them later. They may not realize it now, but they'll realize it later.
They will.
Right? I want to play a quick game with you if you want to play.
Okay.
It's called Quick Slip. I'm going to say one word. I want you the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to give an answer to it.
Okay.
You ready to play?
Yeah.
Quick Slip. Here we go. Family.
Kids.
Sorority.
Delta.
Eric Thomas.
Motivation.
Can't.
Can.
Love.
Relationship.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Eye patch.
Queen Latifah.
Who wanted with lean?
Les Brown.
Who motivates the motivator?
Try.
Attempt.
Obesity.
Fit.
Crayons.
Drawing.
Instagram.
Posting.
Money.
It's green.
Mommy.
Family.
Me.
Self-care.
Mine.
Set.
Donuts.
Police.
Goals.
30, 60, 90-day plan.
Hey, and that's Quick Slip. So, thank you for playing.
Yes.
So what is something, Coach Ablaza, that many people might not know about you, even close friends? And it could be as simple as, I really don't like the color pink. What's something that most people don't know about you, even close friends and family?
That's a tough question because being like an influencer, I tell a lot of my business online. Like I got to a point where I was like, I don't care. So what do people not know about me? And people even know this, but I don't like talking on the phone about regular stuff. You know what? No, this is a good one. I don't like talking about regular stuff. I don't want to talk about no people. I don't want to gossip. I don't want to waste my time. I don't like regular stuff no more. I like doing everything in this interview, motivation, mindset, working with my kids, spend time with my kids. But the regular conversations about the mundane, the norms, I don't like it.
Got you, like what spicy red wearing today type of thing.
Right. I don't care anymore.
Leave me out that question.
If it's not about my purpose or the kids, I'm not interested.
Got you. As opposed to like, Amber, how can we make $50 million this year?
Love it.
That's
interested.
That's right. Wait, light bulb.
How can we? Yeah.
Amber, what's some current projects that you're working on? Whether that's in the business, personal brand, family, etc. What's some current projects you're working on?
Current projects, I'm working on my first book. So when I say book, I guess I mean like not an ebook. I'm going to be publishing a book. What inspired me to do that was a speaker that I work with, Calvin Baldwin. I've branded his business and also published 3 books for him. And so he motivated me, the motivator, to write a book. So that's one project. Another project is a coaching mastermind. I'm working with motivational speakers and helping them build their brands. So those are 2 projects that I have. And I really believe like you can have a list of goals, but it's really like you have to have one focus. So moving past those 2, that's what I'm focused on. I cannot do anything else but those.
Yeah, like you said, focus on one thing at a time, because otherwise you're gonna have some half-assed things done.
Yeah,
right?
For real.
Amber, I want to thank you so much for being on The Empire. Let's say 100 years pass by, 250 years pass by. What would you like your empire to look like 250 years from now?
250 years from now, we will still have the branding agency, Pink Collar Brands. That will be the business that I will let carry on. whoever in the family feels like they want to walk in my footsteps will be leading it, because I don't want to force anybody to do something that's not their passion or not their purpose. So we'll have a branding agency. We'll also still help motivational speakers. We'll have a community for speakers. Of course, we're going to keep Pretty Girls on Work because we love it. So that's our other community for female entrepreneurs. It'll still be here. And past that, we'll have generational health. So we'll understand what health is, why we need it, why it's important. Some people don't get it. We'll have mindset, generational mindset. We will not have to start from scratch ever again. Everybody in our family will have it or have the choice to have it. You know, some people stray away, but so generational health and then generational wealth. So we'll never have to struggle or survive in the next 250 years. Everybody in my lineage will be good. And so for me passing on all three of those things, I'm going to need my picture on the fireplace. You know, like above the fireplace?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Okay, so if y'all seeing this and y'all don't have it up there yet, put it there.
We fighting.
We fighting. Come on, I did a lot.
Right? That's your empire.
That's my empire.
I like that. The robot version of her was showing up like, where's my picture? My grandma is upset. Beautiful empire. Coach Ablaza, thank you so much again for being on the Empire. Can you please let everybody know how they can find you, reach you, support you, get your services, be prepared for your new book to come out? Can you please let everybody know how they can do those things?
Okay, I'm going to let you know that, but I want to let you know one more thing, that your mindset is the compass for your life. Where it points, your actions follow. Okay, so choose wisely. You can find me at coachablaza.com, coachablaza.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Coach Ablaza. You will always be able to find any new projects or keep up with me on what I'm doing on that Instagram page. I'm on all platforms. Hold on. I'm on all platforms. However, Instagram, that's my favorite. But whatever your favorite is, I will be there. And that's a part of branding.
Boom. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll have all of her links in the description. So in case you guys got lost, you guys can always go to the description and it'll be there. And I want to thank all you guys for who listened, watched the video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought. If you enjoyed the work that we do here, you can support us with our Cash App, $THEE Empire Podcast. We also have PayPal, a bunch of things in the description. And yeah, we appreciate everybody. If you didn't know, my name's Antonio the Miles, the one and the only, the real one, not the phonely. If you don't know, now you know me. So, and that's it. Ms. Ablaza, is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Yes, thank you for having me on the Empire. Okay, I love talking about empires, as I will have one very soon.
Hey. Dun, 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 dun. Glad to have you, Amber. So glad to have you. And other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
I say it's my duty. Yeah. Is it my will? Yeah. To do what? Yeah. To do is right. I say.
All right.
Right.
Look. Oh. See, I knew I was gonna run out of energy. I told you. I'm feeling it right now.
You feeling it?
I'm feeling it.
Are you?
Happy New Year. It's going well, and it's going well because. Hold on. Do I look at you or the camera?
It's up to you.